Hello everyone, I'm Demetrice, aka Minani, and I'm your host of Hot Toddies with Minani podcast. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, get this, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, ANCHOR.FM to get started. See you there. I'm Demetrice, and I'm your host. I'm here today with
Dayonna,
Keyana,
Drea, and we're going to talk about arguing.
Well, how you looking?
Because you always want to argue. This is the debater queen arguing. I can't wait to hear what she said about this topic. Anyway, who starts the arguments? Who at this table starts the arguments?
Me.
I'm gonna keep
Sometimes,
it real.
not all the time.
I'm gonna keep it real. I can start an argument. Yeah.
And why do you start an argument, kid?
Because I just I feel like sometimes I'm not going and trying to argue. I feel like I'm strong-minded. Like my opinion, I feel like matters honestly, and I feel like a debate can go from a debate to arguing real quick because you know you might not be trying to get smart, but they probably think you getting smart. So it's like I don't know, maybe how I word it. So
Or
yeah.
your tone.
Oh yeah, tone. Yeah. That's
So how do you guys feel after the argument? Annoyed?
Good.
I feel
Depends.
okay.
I feel the same way I felt before the argument started. I feel good.
I could go.
Exhausting.
Yeah, it can be exhausting, but
exhausted, that means you're just a shit starter.
That was the point I was making.
Yeah. And you feel like that just made you excited? Like
no,
Not excited, but
it
don't stop my life. It don't stop what I was doing or when I was doing it.
depending on what kind of argument it is, it might throw me off for like a little bit, like maybe an hour.
Like I can argue with you and be like, "What you want to eat?"
Me too.
Like, I'm
that's
cool.
me.
I'm
I'm
chill.
fine right after.
No,
I don't know.
No tits. Never argue with Keyana and Dayonna.
Because we going out to eat right after. Let's go. Where you want to go?
Wow.
You want to go get drinks?
Meanwhile, me, after I argue, when I argue, I'm actually laying in my room saying, I should have said this, or I should have.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I do that too.
I can agree with that.
I think at this age, I don't care no more. I don't care about getting the last word. That's so immature to me.
Yeah.
It is.
When everything could just be talked about on a like a calm level. Like,
Yeah, why do we
you
have to
gotta
argue?
shout and yell and spit and like it's
Not spit. Not spit. Yeah, wait a minute. If you spit while arguing,
flying out your mouth like don't argue in the car by yourself. You gotta spit on the windshield.
At that point, I'm laughing.
yeah, like now I'm laughing.
I'm doing this. Wiping it off. I'm laughing. Like, no.
Don't you think arguing, for me, my exes, they would be wondering what's wrong with me right now because I definitely was last word argumentative in my younger days. But these days, I feel like I have to watch my health. I feel like as you get older, if you argue, you can possibly have a stroke. Not saying that I'm that old, but it really can do something to your mental.
That's true.
Also, if I'm arguing, like Drea said, it has a lot to do with tone. So if I have to get loud, now I'm not going to get violent. So I don't want to go to jail. So that's why I don't want to get, I guess I don't know how to really articulate like that. I don't know how to argue and get loud without me saying, bitch, put your hands up, or we can go outside and fight.
But why is an argument taking you there?
That's why I don't argue. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it takes two. I feel like it takes two to argue. So I just want to be that person that don't say anything back.
But not even relationship wise, like I mentioned before, you could be in the car, somebody beep at you, the person want to pull up beside you.
That happened to me recently.
Either one of them persons is going to want to get the last word in. You gotta say, bitch,
You could get,
fuck you.
no, you can have it. You can have it. Only certain people can get under my skin. I
At
feel
this
like.
day and age, I definitely don't want to debate with a stranger, and I'm definitely not doing the road rage thing because they doing a lot of bad stuff with that. So, you might end up arguing with somebody that just wanted to come out and use their gun. So, I'm definitely not arguing. I do think I'm right everything with everything because I feel like if I'm wrong, then I can just say I don't know. It's easier for me to say, well, then I don't know. But if I feel like my point is valid, I can't help it because all my Sagittarians out there, they know we think we right about everything. But I don't want to argue to where I don't like that back and forth. It does a lot to my energy. I can't. It just, even if I'm in a relationship with a man, because arguing could be with your mom, it could be with a friend, it could be with your child, it could be with anybody. But even with a man, like, I don't want to argue. I don't feel like it exhausts me. I lay down and I think about what I didn't say, and then I try to say it tomorrow. So then we still arguing about the same topic. So I do try to get the last word, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a nasty tone. Mm-hmm. I'm one of them people that send
So
the last.
why is it important to you to get the last word?
It's not as important as it used to be, but sometimes I don't know. I just feel a need to.
Why do the other person have to get the last word?
But if
in the argument?
the other person
Like,
don't
is
care
somebody going to get the last word in the argument at the end of the day?
I think
if it's coming from like the mutual, like, all right, let's understand, like, this is it, like, this is the end of the argument, cool. But if you want to, like, oh, I'm right, then it's just like, nobody is right. I feel like nobody is always right in the argument. I feel like it comes with communication.
Why do it have to go on so long?
Right.
I like arguing.
That was Dayonna, everybody. I just
Not all the time, but like, I think, and I posted this, and one of my close friends, she's a Capricorn as well, and she retweeted it and was like, welcome to being a Capricorn. And I'm like, yo, real rap, like, sometimes I say things and people just take it, like you said, they just take it the wrong way. I'm not even seeing it in that way. Sometimes I'm just seeing things either way, even if I'm loud, like right now we're doing a podcast, I'm loud. I don't know, naturally sometimes my voice just elevates. Like, I can't control that sometimes. Like, depending on, like, I'm comfortable home. So if I'm arguing while I'm home, my tone gonna be crazy. Whereas though if I'm at work, I'm not arguing for real at work. I'm arguing with you, but I ain't saying it in a crazy tone. I'm saying it like
it's nice.
It's nasty. Nice, nasty. Yeah, like I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying I like to argue. But when people don't, my whole thing is people don't. I'm misunderstood. A lot of Capricorns are, honestly. We talk out of being caring. We talk about, like, we argue out of, like, concerns. Like, we voice our concerns a lot. Anybody who a Capricorn can attest to that. That's how we are. Sometimes we say good things and people just take it and be like, well, why the F you say that? That's why I think now we arguing. The whole time I didn't mean it in a very argumentative way.
You may be passive aggressive, or your delivery may be aggressive. Because my voice, I come off like that. Well, with you and I, we talk the same way. That's why everybody think we act alike.
Yeah.
But I could say she act like me back in the day, but she don't act like me now. But just like you and I say something to her and I might really be tired. Her feelings hurt. She take offense to it because of my tone, which I really wasn't being smart, but she took it that way because I came off. My voice comes off to be aggressive.
And then also, I feel like people don't stop to think, like, when they start getting heated and upset, they don't stop to think, like, you know what, I didn't even listen to this other person point of view.
There you go, ding, ding, ding. There you go.
Listen to this other person's perspective, because you gotta think, nobody thinks so, like, no, you're not inside of my body to tell me how I feel and how I can feel. And that's where a lot of people get
argument.
Yeah, like, You can't tell somebody how to feel.
Wow.
You can't tell somebody, oh, you're being sensitive. Oh, you're being dramatic. You can't tell somebody that if that's how they feel. You're not inside nobody's body.
That's my son Ash in the background.
Like, you can't do that to people. And then, like, once you do that to somebody, they feel like, okay, I feel like I don't want to talk now. I can't even communicate with you because you calling me dramatic, or you always think I'm being dramatic.
Oh
or
my
sensitive.
God.
You say that a lot? Or
You
people
hit
say
that on
that
the
to you?
nose. She hit that on the nose. All of that.
People say that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like you being dramatic?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a very ignorant and rude comment because you don't even
I say that
stop
sometimes.
to think how I might feel. And I feel like that's very
What type
ignorant.
of day you
It's
had,
very
you know, what you
rude.
went through.
Yeah.
I feel like it depends on what's going on. And I feel like what we forget in the argument is everybody is open to their own opinion.
Yep.
But why do
I may think that you're really like, all right, the other day, no, matter of fact, I'm gonna use myself. I don't want to put nobody else in it. When I got into car accidents, this side note, but it comes into dramatic. When I got into car accidents years ago, I would have been screaming, hollering, and upset. But but recently when I got into one, I was very calm, cool, and collected. People probably thought I was dramatic then because it's just a car. You get what I'm saying? Whereas though now I understand that, but then it probably was dramatic to somebody else. I can't get mad if I think something is more dramatic than another person think. Mm-hmm. People think I'm dramatic, period. But that's their opinion. That you're allowed to have your own opinion. So in the argument, I believe that you're allowed to have an opinion in the argument. So if that's somebody's opinion, that's just an opinion. We gotta open it that way too. Like you could be arguing. I could argue with Key right now, and she could be like, "You loud." I don't think I'm loud. I think this tone is alright for our argument. But in her opinion, I'm loud. We gotta stop taking the opinion out of an argument as well. If it's an argument and this person has an opinion while we're arguing, that's their opinion.
I feel like opinions is fine, but you also have to open up your eyes and your mind to people's to their feelings. Opinions and feelings is two different things as well.
I think going back and forth is just a waste of my time. I find that I don't like to debate, nor do I like to argue. But I don't mind a good conversation. Meaning if Drea say something and I disagree, and I'm like, well, I disagree. We're keeping the same tone that I have right now. I'm okay with that. But having a discussion, I feel like arguing is.
Mom, your tone changed though for discussions. Even with debates, your tone changed.
Well, with who? With you?
With me, with Keyana, everybody. Your tone go from, so I was feeling the same. No, what I'm telling y'all is, I was feeling that way too.
I wonder what you said before I got to the tone.
Not only me though. We ain't speaking on only me. We speaking on everybody.
Nobody else said nothing but you.
Well, I'm the only one that's going to speak up. Keyana probably not going to speak up.
I don't have no comment. But anyway.
Yeah, which means, AKA, your tone does change. And if Oski was down here or I dial him up, he's going to say the same thing. Your tone does change.
I feel like everybody, tone change.
In a debate. Even in a debate.
Everybody tone change. Like, Oski could be.
But that might be a debate. I feel like arguing is like.
But y'all just said arguing has to do with tone. So if arguing has to do with tone, now if we debating and you loud as hell.
I think that arguing, you start to say, and tell me if I'm disagree or disagree, you start to say bad things to each other.
Okay.
I'll take that.
And that's arguing. I really try not to get into that because then it's, especially with this one, she started pulling out the sensitive cards.
Alright, she got that.
She tell you the shit that hurt. Some shit back in the day that ain't nobody know but you and her. So that to me is like arguing. Now debating, I might get loud to get my point across so that y'all can understand me, but arguing is like, that's why I say why argue. That's why I talk about this topic, because if you're in a relationship with somebody, I'm gonna say boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, no matter what. If you're in a I have nothing against the gays. Just letting y'all know. It's real sensitive about that. I have them in my family. I'm trying to tell you. But, you with that, if y'all argue all the time, just saying. At what point are you gonna say, okay, I know this person, he knows me, I know what ticks him off. Okay, so when he do it this time, I'm just going to ignore him. Who's going to be the person who's going to.
I hope him. Because I'm going to say it.
That's what I'm saying. Who's going to be...
Who's going to be the bigger person?
Yeah, because it takes two to argue. Do you know how many
That's true.
arguments that actually happen between boyfriend and girlfriend, significant other, whatever it is, that ended up being violent because it escalated so quickly?
Well, I don't condone violence.
Yeah,
so if it, then I will be the one that say no. Because I don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't want to get hit.
But you know, there's so many relationships like that actually happen. They probably wish that I wish I would have just not said
Shut up.
Yeah,
but it's sad that you gotta be like that because the other person's aggressive though.
Yeah, you should not have to feel like you have to shut up in a relationship.
No,
like,
I should.
You
be
should
able
never
to,
feel like you're not able to voice your own opinion because you know that the other person is going to react.
So for instance, if your woman is PMSing and you know she's PMSing, it's like she gets smart with you. All right, I know she PMSing. I'm not even gonna say anything because I know when I used to PMS, I was ready to hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I remember
My
kicking
bad.
a hole through the wall.
I kicked the
So
hole
what
in
I'm saying
Oski's
is
car.
if you know that I am PMSing, you know what I mean? That thing can get violent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say that, you know, she gets smart with him and then he say, man, go ahead, I'm going to let you have it. Or you get what I'm saying? He going to walk on eggshells. He, she, it, whatever. Going to walk on eggshells knowing that she on her, I ain't trying to get into that argument because most of the time women, when we are PMSing, we speak in rage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another whole level of an argument. You get what I'm saying? So it has to be somebody because it takes, just because it takes two to argue, how does it end? Somebody got to be that person that's the peacemaker that's going to say, you know what, I'm not going to, like my safe, like a safe word. Like my safe word is what?
Leave me alone. And I hate that.
Leave me alone. And I mean it.
You could be the peacemaker and the other person still want to go back and forth. So what do you do then? You could be like, you could just be like, okay, all right, whatever. And the other person still,
People
they
hate
still
that.
I hate that. I hate okay. I hate whatever. Like I feel like if you want to have a safe word,
as a person to argue back with you.
No, but if you want to have a safe word,
if you want to make somebody,
can it be a good safe word or safe term? Like, can it be like, hey, boo,
like how she's yelling now?
I don't want to argue. Like, why I gotta be leave me the fuck alone? Like, that's giving me bitch. Yeah, now I'm coming back harder. Cause who you talking to? Now I'm gonna ask you. Who are you talking to?
I say leave me alone. I usually don't really say nothing else because I'm done.
Yeah, you should be allowed to say, leave me alone. I don't want to argue.
I think that's a word that people downplay. If I say leave me alone, I mean leave me alone.
And it could be on. And then if you're texting and arguing, you don't know what tone I'm saying leave me alone in.
That's even worse. We had a podcast about this. Didn't we have a podcast about this? Mm-hmm. About texting. Texting can be taken in so many ways.
And
it
also
really can.
Phone conversations can too, because you don't know how that person body language is as they're talking to you on the phone.
Which is true because I could be at work and you're bothering me, so I want you to hurry up and get to the point. So I'll be like, hello, what's up? And you're like, oh, I don't gotta be like that. I'm just trying to get you to say what you need to say so I can hang up and do what I need to do next.
Right.
And that can be taken the wrong way. How do you feel after your argument? You said you feel good?
Yeah, because
Do you apologize?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. I like people.
I do apologize.
I like people that can own up.
Because not only, even if I'm strong-minded about my stuff, like I still, like what Drea said, I still want people to take their stuff out their own body and put it in my body on my perspective, because I do the same. If I'm apologizing, obviously I'm doing the same for you. So I feel like sometimes when people we arguing or whatever, they're not seeing it from my point of view. So that's why I apologize if I feel like I'm wrong. If I feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah, and you don't have to agree. Like when you sit back and reflect, like, you know what? I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree. You don't have to agree,
Right.
but you can understand just
understand
the other person's point of view, and just that's it. All right, I know not to move this way. I know not to say this to you, and then we can argue less. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And talk about it. Like People be like, oh, I'm over it. I don't want to talk no more. How are you ever going to resolve anything in life if you're just always over stuff? That's not how life works. You can't just be over it because you will keep running into the same problems. As an adult, even as like, I want to say like teenagers too, like you got to learn to communicate. Communication is very important. Saying, oh, I don't want to talk about this right now. When are you going to talk about it? When are you going to change?
Yeah, that's
you can't talk about it on your time because that's not fair to your significant other or your friend or whatever the case may be. Like it's friendships too. Like where you can argue with your friend and they be like, girl, I don't feel like talking to you right now, whatever. When are you going to talk to me? I don't know what's bothering you because you being short and nonchalant.
I can honestly say I debate with my girlfriends. If I call any of my girlfriends right now, very few I actually had like a full-blown argument. You know, even in my arguing days, I've never really had like a full-blown argument like with none of my girlfriends. You know what I mean? You gotta really take me there. I think that's what the situation is with me. You gotta really take me there. I think now that I've gotten older, I got this little method that I count to 10, 20, whatever it takes to get on who it is, before I actually respond. Like, man, I don't feel like this. You know, depending on who it is. But I feel like arguing takes a lot of energy. I feel like arguing has, depending on what caliber of the tone, how it leads to violence, that people probably felt like, damn, I wish I would shut up. So I think that's where my mind is and like I said, I'm always exhausted. I'm always exhausted afterwards. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm just like...
Yeah, because you be thinking like, why? Why couldn't we just talk on a calm, little mellow vibe?
So
like,
what is the thing where you arguing and then didn't get the last word, y'all hang up and text them?
Me.
Me.
Which is like, why can't you just say how you felt on the phone?
Thanks for ruining my day. Bye. Okay.
Like, all I had to say was,
Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
The rest of the shit I had to say was this. You got me fucked up. I don't like to be hung up on whether we arguing or not. Bitch, don't hang up on me. You hang up on me, I'm calling back or I'm texting. Period.
You get that from your mom.
I don't like that shit.
You want to text the whole
I don't know, but I
They're
don't like
cursing
that.
you out.
If you arguing, why are you bringing up personal stuff?
Like, what you mean?
Why are you trying to hurt somebody's feelings over an argument that has nothing to do with body or how you look? How did you get from arguing about you not saying bye this morning until you fat now or you I think that's sick. Like, why are you? Did you feel like that? No, if you feel like that about a person, why are you dating that person that you feel like they're ugly?
They gotta go into deep.
Like, how am I ugly because we're arguing?
Crazy. Y'all crazy right now. Oh my God, I can't stop laughing.
This is not about my life, by the way. I'm single.
Yo, y'all are hilarious, yo.
Somebody said, every time I listen to the podcast, all I do is laugh.
Yes.
They crazy, y'all.
Yo.
Not me, though. Not Dayonna. The rest of them.
But there's no way an argument should turn into you throwing shots at your significant
You can't
other
say
or
that.
friend.
That's your opinion. But everybody has their own opinion.
I feel like if you feel that
you're your own person.
I feel like if you
It
feel that
depends
way,
on how
if you
deep.
feel that way
Like,
about that person,
if
why are you dating them? You feel like they
that's not
ugly or
true.
they're fat
That's
or
not
they
true.
look a mess.
I
Why are
will
you
call
dating
my
them?
prettiest friend. I will call freaking Beyonce ugly. I don't care. Girl, you ugly. If we arguing and I'm mad, you're anything I feel like saying at that time. It don't really got nothing to do with. You could be the prettiest girl. You could be prettier than me. I'm still gonna call you ugly. Your hair could be to your ass. I'm calling you bald head. You bald head just like your grandma. Yeah. I'm angry. I'm enraged. Like you said. But I feel like I only get enraged sometimes. I'm not enraged every time I argue with somebody.
I definitely
What
think
the hell?
you changed.
I'll change. Like, people don't know, Mom.
No, you changed.
I would not argue with nobody.
You are definitely an
I will
argument
be
starter.
at your front
She is an
door.
argument
Oh, you
starter.
want to argue? Okay, perfect. Now, me and my squad, we're coming outside. Where you at? Send your location. I'm not that person no more. But if you make me mad, it's certain. Like you said earlier in the podcast, if you know what ticks your partner off, don't do it. You know that ticked me off. Don't do it or say it, because now I'm ticked off. Like I said, hanging up on me. That's one of my triggers. You hang up on me or ignore me, I'm teed off. I might talk about, I don't know. I'm going off. Because now I'm mad. That's my trigger.
Ignoring is that's my thing.
Yeah, and I feel like if you ignoring, you're ignoring, so you don't want to argue.
Yeah,
nobody want to argue all day.
That's a trigger for some people though.
But you can't tell your significant other or your friend, oh, don't ignore me. I don't want to argue. That's why I'm giving you your space. It's not ignoring.
I don't want that
in my ear. Like, I don't want that in my aura. I don't want to feel that
just
vibe.
ignore a person. And then
it depends on how you ignore me. If you can't force nobody to.
But if you block me, I'm going off. That's my raging point. Everybody, all right. So since we talk about arguing, what's your raging point? What ticks you over the edge in an argument? What makes you go there?
If they talk about me in general in an area that's a flaw to me, a sensitive area.
A sensitive, okay.
So I really can tolerate a lot. Me, it's just don't bother me when I don't want to be bothered. It's as simple as that. It really takes a lot. Like lately, I can't even tell you the last time I actually argued, because I know that I can get that sense of rage, but my rage don't come with me arguing. My rage come with a threat. So I try not to let that person like take me there. So I can't really say, it's that thing. But if you try to come at me about something that I'm trying to fix, say I had a side tooth missing, and you want to come for my side tooth, or if I, something like that, depending on, if it's a man I'm dating, and I feel like every time he got something to say, he got something bad to say about me, I get on my defense.
Because it's like, well, how long you been feeling like this?
Yeah, I get on my defense.
So
that's
your defense. Like, that's your thing that ticks you off. What ticks you off, Kate?
Tone
ticks you off.
Tone definitely ticks me off too.
What about you, Dre?
I feel like tone and bringing up personal stuff that you've been into somebody about, I feel like that's very disrespectful. Yeah, because if I've been into you in private and you throwing it in my face in an argument, it's like you're just nasty as a person to me. Yeah, and I feel very, because I'm like, me personally, like, especially Aquarius, we don't tell people stuff unless we date you or like we really like locked in. So like for me to like pour my whole heart out to you and then you bring it up in an argument, it's like, but you waiting to use this against me? And I don't like that, because it's like you was waiting.
Is that I'll never tell you another thing.
Exactly, and that's why I became very, very private.
That's where I'm at with that too, because I'm tired of. I want everybody to know. Don't give me no advice. I'm grown. I've been through everything. At this point, ask me. Ask me, do I want your advice? Don't give me your advice, because I may not be in that mood. And sometimes people tend to think that's where your mindset is at, but my mindset may be totally somewhere else. So it's like, that makes me mad too, because, and we talked about that, giving advice, sometimes that starts arguments. Sometimes that starts arguments. You know what I mean? I don't. That's a heated moment for me too. But that's like you say, telling somebody something they throw in your face. That's like me not telling somebody my business and they give me advice. That kind of gets under my skin too. Or they, but in my age, I have learned to block it out. I pick and choose what I respond to.
Right.
I agree. But that tone, you get loud, I'm getting loud.
But why did they get loud?
Yo, it's crazy because I don't even be wanting to get loud.
Some people get loud and not even see that they're getting loud though.
Yo,
like
I
don't like that too, because it seems like when I, like, for me, when somebody get loud with me, it be feeling like, oh, you ain't say nothing about loud or arguing until I got loud, but you got loud first. So
I'm a hypocrite. I don't like a hypocrite.
I also think you want to over talk me. Like, my voice don't matter. Like, now you over talking me and it's like what I'm saying don't matter. How are you?
That's where opinions come in.
Well, yeah, because that's your opinion, but the other person might not feel like that.
With me, I'm over talking you because I was minding my business. So now, if you started with me and you're the corporate and I'm the victim, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. But if I'm the person that actually started it, then okay. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I don't like getting loud. What do you mean? How do y'all feel about arguing with a parent?
I don't like that.
I don't like it because it's disrespect. You
like
shouldn't disrespect your parent, whether you're 30 years old, 40 years old. You can have a disagreement with them. I feel like you need to talk to your parent in a calm tone, like, because you're an adult now. So talk to them with respect. Do you have to agree?
The parent is not trying to hear.
What if the parent wrong?
Yes, parent.
What do you do when the parent is wrong?
And I feel like
parents are wrong.
Not to cut you off.
just went viral like this,
but not
because parents always saying respect. But what if you're being not only disrespectful, not only disrespectful, but what if you just being like, I don't know, like, yeah, you being a parent. I don't know. When I have kids, I'm going to do my kids differently. Like, I don't want them to ever have to, not even talk back, but I don't want them to have to argue with me. Like, it's a way to say stuff too, and somebody tweet when rival like that. Like, parents think you're supposed to automatically respect you, but now that I'm grown, it's a way to say things to a grown child. I'm still grown. I'm your grown child, yes. But I'm grown. Still respect me as well.
And like I said, respect your parent. You don't have to go. You shouldn't be arguing back and forth with them. No, but just set your tone with your parent as well. Like, that's how you feel. That's cool. But I'm an adult now, Mom. Like, you're not about to talk to me like that either. Like, no, for real. Like, parents need to check themselves too, though. Do parents sit back?
Do they sit back and realize I was wrong?
And like, you know what? I should have talked to my daughter this way or my son this way. Like, I should have, like,
because when I get riled,
because like my dad has texted me and apologized to me before, and I respect, and that's why I'm an apologizer, because my father does it to me. Like, especially when he wrong, he'll text me like, you know what, Dre, I'm sorry, I was like snapping out.
A lot of times, like, the parent don't value the child.
Yeah, and I can honestly say my dad will definitely apologize. He'll sit back and be like, it might take him a couple hours, but I will get there from him.
Well, I'm open for my kids to tell me their opinion. Just watch your tone. I don't like the tone. I don't like the tone. Like that yelling and talking to me any kind of way.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't talk to your parent any kind of way. You can't talk to them like you was arguing with your significant other.
See, for me, I've never got smart with my mom or my dad.
I never did either.
Me neither. Because when I did, I had to apologize. Like, one time I got smart with my mom, like, real bad. And my sister called me and was like, you need to apologize. And I felt bad, so I had to apologize.
The karma that comes with that is unbelievable. Let me just say that.
I believe it, though. I do believe it.
Because my main point for that is you shouldn't be arguing with your parents. Don't get me wrong, you got some parents that's drug addicts that stole from you. I mean, you got parents that's just, that's some real strict, and you might not understand their strict and their love for you or whatever. I'm a parent, and we are not always right, but I do truly believe in honor thy mother and thy father. I can't say that I can relate to as far as actually getting smart back and forth. But me and my mom, we had debated, because she didn't like my point, and I had to make my point clear. I have actually debated with my mom, but I've never actually argued with my mom.
And like I said, as parents, apologize. Teach your kids to apologize. That's where you learn good behavior from too.
Yeah, because parents seem to like their opinion is that's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You don't get no opinion. I do all the work. I do this. I do that, and we just don't get no opinion. Like, well, damn, we still human. We still got feelings. You know what I mean? So our opinion should matter too, and that's where some arguments can come from too. You have an opinion,
and then
that's
what I also don't like, a comment like, "Oh, this is my house."
Oh yeah,
I think that's mean. Like,
I know
this is your house.
I live here.
But you said I could stay here until I stack my money up X, Y, Z.
I feel like
it's a throw
It's a fed-up.
I think it's to throw it in your face, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. I feel like it's to throw it in your face.
Yeah, but if you need help or if you doing stuff and you can't really do what you need to do, you can't really make that comment either.
That's still
what you mean?
In my house.
Because he said he feel like they feel like that because they pay all the bills. But if you step in and you do what you need to do, Why can't you just respect?
Because I have
what
a
I'm
lot
doing?
of friends that had lived with their parents and paid bills.
No,
So why are you still throwing? Oh, this is my house.
So-
but I'm helping.
So we gotta take disrespect because I live here.
I don't agree with that.
No, I can respect
See,
you, but still have an opinion.
Right.
I would have to know the situation, because for me, it's when you call yourself put me in an uncomfortable place, that I'm gonna come and say that, but it'll be on my defense. It won't just be no random shit. It'll be when you coming at me, telling me what I need to do. Now, yeah, I will say that.
And I
But
do
if
feel
you're
like
not, if you're not telling me what to do, I don't randomly say, "Oh, this my MFing house," or "This my." No, you gotta do something to me for me to actually say it. So, in defense of the parents, I need to know what it is that was actually said for that parent to say, "Oh, this is my house," because it is my house, my rules. You feel me? So, did you come in too late? Just saying.
but it's also my money that I'm giving you every month.
But what if,
So what if I stop
they
giving it
not
to
paying
you?
every month? What if they not paying every month?
I mean, yeah.
Most people ain't.
What? Giving their parents
Yeah,
money?
but some people are. But
Some are, but I'm saying
that
the
still doesn't
majority,
mean-
nah.
To me, I feel like that's a
still
throw in the
doesn't make-
face.
Because what if they going home? What if they came home to go to school? Or what if they came
Yeah.
home like not
Circumstances,
just our
sure.
family business, but somebody had to come home to purchase their home. So you still gonna say, "Oh, this is my house," or you just gonna be like, that person is here to do what they need to do.
Me, honestly,
get out.
that's what I'm gonna say. It. Now, can't nobody say I don't say that. You gotta do something to me for me to be like, "Excuse me, this is my house." But I'm not just gonna randomly say that just out of nowhere. No, I'm not. Now, you being disrespectful, yeah, I'm saying it. But just to come out of nowhere, just walking in the door, "Hi, everybody, I'm home. This is my house." No. What happened?
I'm saying in a debate, I guess.
Yeah, maybe in a
something that start off a
debate
debate,
argument. Yeah.
and then the parent gets mad.
Even if I debate and I say that,
still
you
should
said
have
something.
it.
You said something to me first.
But why is that your response as a
I
parent?
think that's what
This
she
is
said,
my
yeah.
house. Why is that a response as a parent? Not you, but just a lot of parents say it. I hear it a lot.
I think that for me,
I feel like
I
they're
think y'all-
hypocrites too, because they'll be like, let's just bring black and white in a perspective. White people will let their kids stay home, finish, go to get their doctorate,
32.
all that, and then they be out on their own. And then you got and this is what's wrong with our community right now. You got the black parents who, you 18, unfortunately you out the door. Now little Bobby down the street killing Toko. Like, now he done turned out horrible because he ain't really got shit because you done pushed him out the door. But if you would have let him go to college, so I feel like depending on the situation, you shouldn't even be saying that. Because if I'm getting myself together and I need it, you're my mom.
Yeah, you say that to a bum. I feel like you can say that to a bum
child.
A child. But if
a
you know
child
this child is on some ish, they got businesses and they work.
but that
and
don't
they
mean
in
that
school.
you gotta take their disrespect. You got some parents that's old school,
Yeah.
so you gotta do something to make them say that to you. So what are you doing? You might be disrupting their peace. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say I disagree with them so much throwing it in your face, because what everybody need to realize, if my mom, let me say this, if my mom said it to me as a child, I wasn't that sensitive. That wouldn't have hurt my feelings.
I don't think
As a child, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I'm still a kid. I should be here.
But as an adult, you be
As
like,
an
well,
adult,
damn.
that will hurt an adult.
You be like,
And you
especially
go in there,
especially if you want some shit and you work your ass off and you trying to live a better lifestyle than your parents or parents.
So have your
Don't
mom
say
ever,
that to
have
me.
your mom ever said that to you?
No, my mom never said it to me.
Okay.
Then my dad, yes, because that's just, I feel like that's just how God. My mom never said it to
I
me.
feel like it's an
My mom never ever said this.
I feel like it's an old, but does that mean that they actually want you to get out?
And I don't think
we're talking
I'll
about
take it as you
arguments,
want me to get out.
We're talking about
I do
arguments.
take it as that. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so we saying as an argument, right? Because we're talking about arguments. So therefore, if there was an argument, disagreement, then she said something out of anger. Am I correct? She or he said, "This is my house," out of anger because
throw
I was
it in your
arguing.
face.
Is that
And to get the last word, right?
in which you shouldn't be
The
saying
last
that?
word is this my house. Like, why is that on your mind? I know.
But in which
we know.
But in which you shouldn't be saying nothing back in the first place. See, that's
Why do
But
parents
no.
feel that way though?
If I'm not being
let's break it
disrespectful,
down.
why can't I say how I feel?
Yeah.
Some parents can. I feel like my kids can, as long as we keep the right tone. But let me say this to y'all. Back in the day,
You wasn't allowed to.
if my grandmom said, Demetrice picked that up off the floor, and it was 5 of us, and I know Keyana had it. And I turned to my grandma and say,
I didn't do it.
We got hit. So no matter if you don't say to your mom or your dad, and they kind of old school, which I am old school a little bit, if you don't say to them, can we talk? Or you do something to them, and this is why I'm saying this topic as far as argument, it leads to, I feel like your dad saying, this my house is just like that weak moment when you say somebody say you ugly. Because when people are heated, that's what happens. Yeah, they say bad things. That's why I don't like arguing.
Arguments lead to not speaking for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like arguing either, because I don't want to break a bond over.
That is a lot of females. It's majority.
Well, no, I know. Like my boss brought it up today. He said, because I got invited to my boss crab fest or whatever, and he was like, we family. He was like, we black family, but I haven't spoken to my brother in X amount of years because we had an argument. So I just feel like it's a guy thing too.
That's pride.
Pride, definitely.
Nobody.
But most men don't argue and get it. Like for example, Ashton and Osi been friends since what grade? 2nd grade. And Tashin. I've never seen them fall apart ever. Now if they fell apart in the dark and had an argument in the dark, that was their own business. But I never seen them like break up as like a guy group. Whereas though me and my friends, we didn't argue 50 times, and I'm only 30.
Boy, I only got one friend. Bye. I don't want to talk to y'all.
Females go through things.
But you had other friends. You had trial and error friends that y'all argued, and now they're not around no more.
People
can't. Females
can take the truth though.
Yeah, which leads into an argument. That's why y'all not.
That's why I don't give advice.
That's why you got one friend.
Yeah, and I think I'm at the age where I don't want nobody advice no more. I'm not even asking.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, like I'm not asking.
Stop it. Because it leads to arguments. Stop it.
Stop it. Sound like you talking to a lot.
Stop it. Stop it. People advice. Everyone. Stop it.
Stop
if
asking me.
Don't ask you, let them vent.
And that's how I feel. Sometimes I just want to vent. Sometimes I want to just. Sometimes I want to just get stuff off my chest. I don't always want to hear your feedback, unless I be like, "Do you agree? What you think?"
Everybody can't take feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Unless I ask, but sometimes I want to vent, and sometimes I want to hear your opinion.
How about just ask me how I feel about the situation, so I can tell you how I'm feeling.
And I feel like people be so what's the word I want to say?
Quick to
judge and voice their opinion that you just sit back and listen to what they're saying.
People that actually went through something you're wrong.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
Like nigga, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You already
I feel like that, like Dayonna with the nursing school. I can't tell her how, like, if she was to fail her NCLEX, I can't tell her to not be sad. I can't tell her how to feel. I can only be there for her and say, try again.
Because for her, I give her a day to wallow, but then I'm right at her.
Yeah.
Because
but you can't tell her how to feel. Like, don't be upset. You can't tell her how to feel.
Yeah, no,
you can't tell nobody how to feel unless they ask. Like, unless Dayonna was to be like, should I feel like that? Like, then I'm like, I don't think you should. Like, if she didn't ask, I'm not gonna tell her that.
Sometimes you get reactions like,
thank God I passed on first try.
Just using that
I
example.
I didn't hear nobody advice about me failing. I'd have been pissed. I ain't gonna hold you. I would have turned my phone off.
And I think sometimes as human beings, it's just a natural reaction for us to try to give advice.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm pretty sure,
I think that sometimes it comes off for me as a natural reaction. Like, if somebody called my phone that I love and care about right now, and be like, I was just arguing with such and such, or I was just going through it, and this is what happened. Sometimes I just automatically be like, well, maybe you shouldn't have said it this way or that. Like,
but we don't stop to think. Like, maybe they just
think that.
And sometimes I do it. Sometimes I don't stop to think. Like, maybe she just wanted to just talk
or
and not.
Do you ever think that she was arguing with that person because what you're just about to do? You ever do that? You ever tell somebody what somebody did, and then somebody turn around and do the same thing, and you like, this is why I'm mad at her. Because she just tried to give me advice, and now you tried to turn around and give me advice too. Now I gotta get smarter too. I feel like a lot of times advice giving starts arguments as well. Mm-hmm. It do. It starts a lot of arguments because
I wouldn't say a lot, but because some people know how to receive it. Though.
Yeah, but some people don't want to receive it. Some people don't want to receive
So
it.
it only start arguments with the people that don't know how to receive it.
Or maybe at their headspace, that they not in the space.
Cause you know how
to
you going
receive
through.
it.
All right, like I have a friend. Well, one of my old coworkers. Me and her still like. She one of my friends. She'll give like her honest opinion, but I don't mind because that's what I'm reaching out to her for. Like she's like one of the people that I always just
That
reach
you
out to.
value her.
Yeah, like,
I met her.
and she older than me too, so it's just like I respect like her opinion because she done
Yeah,
been
so
through a little bit more
you
than
wouldn't
me.
argue with her. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But
I
like,
feel
like sometimes I may come to her about relationship problems. She'd be like, you know, just mellow out for a little bit. I'm like, you know what, you're right. Like, but I asked for that. I didn't just come to her. Like, you get what I'm saying? And I don't get upset about.
I gave somebody, and I'm very calm and I'm very humble when I give advice. But sometimes I have gave people advice and they snip at me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, and then me and them started arguing. I'm not even a person that did something. So that's why.
Then they talk to that person.
Yeah. So that's why I
Don't talk
stopped.
to-
I
don't tell me
stopped.
nothing.
I stopped
Yeah.
arguing. You mean stop getting advice because it leads to an argument. Sometimes, not saying every time. What about arguing in the workplace?
Cause like,
arguing in the workplace.
cause like I've been to her, like I said about relationships. Sometimes she never not once be like, oh, well, why don't you break up with so and so? Like she's never negative. She
I don't
always
think you
think.
should ever
She
tell
always
somebody.
think. But if you have people that y'all ever be like, well, why don't you just leave him alone? I'm
When
never.
the person abusive and stuff, I didn't
Well,
ever say that, but I do
abusive
that.
is different. But like, you know, when you going through little stuff, I'm never the friend that be like, why don't you just leave? Because we gonna leave when we ready to leave. And then, like I said, that starts the argument. Well, why you want me to leave him or her or whatever the
That's
case
what I'm
may
saying.
be?
I
Like,
just think that you definitely got to know the person, but a lot of things do end up starting an argument. But what about actual arguments in the workplace? Have anybody had arguments in the workplace?
Yeah.
so
Like
Yeah.
coworkers.
Yeah, like what's going on?
Yeah.
No, before I went to work, something had happened. But I didn't know she worked at my job, so I don't know if that's.
you gotta tell this story because you was
I
a
really
little
do.
wrong.
I was not wrong. Wait, what story
Only-
you talking about?
Are you talking about when you text everybody in the damn group chat?
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
can tell that
what
story.
you mean to say.
Okay, let me
yeah, tell that
the
story because you're crazy.
Oh, okay. So well, I can tell it for sure. Damn, my supervisor, she came to me, which she was wrong. And to be honest, she started it. She came to me and she was like, the girls are really upset with you. I do be late sometimes. I can't lie.
A lot. Go ahead, y'all.
She get that from one mom.
So I'll be late sometimes. I let time pass me by, and she mentioned that the girls was mad at me, and she didn't specifically say which girls. She said both group of girls were mad, which is my 2 locations that I was working at. So okay, cool. I don't feel a way about the one location because it's really, like he said in the background, it's really fuck them girls. I don't care about them.
Oh, yeah.
But the other girls at the other location, I really we don't really hang out and stuff outside of work, but we're close. We worked together for 6 years. So I felt betrayed. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Y'all talking about me behind our supervisor back when y'all know y'all can come to me? So I put them all in a group message and I cursed them out, y'all.
She put a long message, not one of them short and simple. She put a
I had the
this
message.
girl put a
Hold on.
paragraph, y'all.
Let me make one thing clear today. Supervisor mentioned that y'all are pissed at me because I'm late. Whether y'all come in or not, I still get my job done. Keyword, my job. So no matter what time I come in, y'all shouldn't be worried about it. You should be able to get your job done with or without me present, to be honest. This is her second time saying it to me and saying it's from place in place. Now the first time I let it slide, but now it's annoying me. And they didn't respond. But they did feel a really bad, like they felt a way. One of them spoke on it. The other one didn't really speak on it. The other two, well no, the other one did. Both spoke on it, but the one I've been working with the longest, really, like, we have a relationship, she really was upset, and I could tell the vibe was different and everything. But we're all good now. That was around October, and we're all fine. So, yeah. And
that could have started an argument, and if they're like me, I would have just looked at it too and ignored.
But really, I
that's
don't
something
that's my fault, though. I don't
No, I'm just saying. No, we just speaking on arguments. Like, if you would have...
I could have dropped the nail.
If you would have texted that to a certain type of person that was like It could have ended bad.
I could have not texted at all. What I should have did, now that I'm
was
more
addressed it in
mature,
person. Like, hey,
I could have addressed it in person. Like, hey, I'm not sure who exactly did it, but you know, if you ever have issue with what time I'm coming in, or you feel like I'm late, text me first. You don't gotta go to the supervisor to get me in
That's why I
trouble.
always say communication is important, because all they had to do was just come down. Like, girl, you be late. Like, you know,
I be like, annoyed.
You could have just been like, can you be on? Like, I don't know.
I can't tell my argument at work because I still work there.
But even, alright, for instance,
But
like,
she tried it.
like I have an hour break.
Yeah.
I get
And
an hour
her daughter
break
can
at work.
fight, and I'll beat you up. I don't know who it is, but I'll beat you up in break. You know, damn well who it is.
So like that's like me coming in, cause like alright, a couple times at my old job, you know, my coworker was a little late coming in from lunch. I'm like, alright, girl, like I'll give you an extra 15 minutes. I don't care, but girl, you 30 minutes. I want to go too.
Mm-hmm.
So I said something like, girl, like I said it in a playful way, but like now, yeah.
Took it the wrong way.
So yeah.
Y'all started arguing.
No.
Oh.
No. I'm saying like it could have ended in an argument. But I did argue at work before. This was when I was working at an older job. Somebody decided to steal my leads, and we had to work for what is it called? What's it called when you gotta
Like when you make your money off of the people that come in and
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah. And it was an older lady, and I did, like, looking back at it now, because I had stopped talking to her for like maybe like, was it like 2 months? Remember I told you I wasn't talking to her for like 2 or 3 months? And we all worked in the, like an office together, like 6 of us in the office, and it used to be like she would come into work and say good morning to everybody, and I'd be like, and it's messed up because she was my elder, but you kind of like taking my money from me and my daughter, so I kind of felt the way like you could have just asked, like, can I have some of your leads because I'm trying to make my quota or whatever. So we definitely stopped talking for like a good three months while I was at that job.
I like when we stop speaking.
Me too. Don't say nothing.
Yeah, because I don't talk to nobody, so I'll never argue with nobody.
And then I be having,
That's why I want to be at my new job.
Don't say. I say good morning. I'm not mean. I'm not mean.
Don't tell them nothing about yourself.
I never been mean at work. Like I'll say hi, how are you? But other than that, I'm really not trying to make no friends. Mind you, I work with older people, so it's like,
oh yeah,
I don't want to really talk.
What
to
about?
But then you might come in contact with somebody that you click with.
It'd be the yeah, I click with somebody through customer service working at Macy's, but you arguing with the customer.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about arguing with the actual customer.
Yeah, I had to get
I had to
some
argue with
too.
customers and customer service.
Mm-hmm.
But I was young though.
Yeah, me too.
Like I feel like my jobs I got now is still customer service in a way. So, but it's in a different aspect. Like I'm with patients, so I don't argue with them. But I mean, if I'm right, I'm right. I'm saying how I feel.
One time
I will put you in
your place. Yeah, but I won't get nasty.
If I think you racist or you trying to be, you know, depending on what it is, sometimes I just ignore them. You know, like I had a lady say something a little smart the other day. Oh, that just like I didn't hear her. Ma'am, you know, so.
Go about your business.
Right. Yeah, I really don't have time for that. So because, you know, they can go tell on you and all that crap. So I don't got time. I need my point.
Now, a few weeks ago, I was riding behind this lady on Maniac or whatever. And you know how sometimes, like, you just not paying attention to, like, what you're doing or whatever. You might be talking to the person in the car or whatever. So I kind of was inching up, but I didn't realize the lady was backing into the space. So she, like, waving her hand or whatever, all hype. So I pulled up calm. I'm like, oh, like, I apologize. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you was trying to park. Oh, she got hype. I turned that shit off. Because usually I try to be like, I pulled up like, yo, people getting shot. Like, you might want to calm down. Like, and I was like, y'all always do this. She was like, y'all. Like, you just took it. She was white. So I just feel like she wanted to just start with a black person.
A Karen.
Yeah. And if somebody's
Karen coming all kinds
my whole thing is, if a stranger is apologizing to you, why didn't you just accept it? And you could have been like, you know, it's okay. I was like, I had a long day. I was like, I really wasn't paying attention. I didn't owe her that, but I wanted to because sometimes you got to show their gratitude to strangers because they might change how they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you might change a stranger. Like, she might have been like, she might have went back home and reflected, like, you know what, maybe I should calm down. Like, yeah, she was hype at that moment, but she might have changed. She might have changed now. She might not be that hype driver no more. It's not. Cause my whole thing is, I was like, in my head, I'm like, it's not that deep. Let me just pull up and apologize. Cause I really, honestly, truly didn't mean to be all up on her ass. But for you to get hyped and be rude and nasty to somebody that didn't owe you an apology is like, come on.
Trying to argue for sure.
She was just trying to argue, and it's just like, everybody don't be on that type time. It was like after 5. Everybody getting off work. Everybody a little antsy. But you know, sometimes you have to be the bigger person, and it's nothing wrong with being
Can
a bigger person.
you guys think of an argument? One of the worst arguments you ever had.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about it. It was horrible.
That's respectable. One of the worst arguments I ever had. Ooh.
Now, what would you do to change it? So, Key, what would you do to change that argument? That was the worst argument.
Apologize.
Okay, so you feel like you was wrong.
That's good that you apologize though, because a lot of people.
Not all the time though. Only if I feel like I'm wrong.
That's a topic. That's
Okay.
a topic. Apology.
So listen, sometimes I don't apologize when I feel like I'm wrong. Sometimes I apologize because I feel like the other person needs to hear it, because maybe that's not what they're used to. If somebody not used to being apologized to, you get what I'm saying? Like, I might not feel like I'm wrong, but I'm still going to apologize because we had a misunderstanding.
I used to be like that. So with your worst argument, Drea, would you do anything different? And was it your fault?
I don't remember. I can't really think of like a time when.
That means you had too many arguments if you can't remember your arguments. Like,
No, because sometimes. No, honestly, truly, I don't like to argue. That's probably why I probably just get it out of my mind.
I had so many arguments, but it was a lot that was petty though. So I remember like really serious ones, like where you stop talking to people and stuff like that. I stopped talking to one of my family members for a long, long time, and I felt like I needed that family member, so I had to apologize.
Okay, so since we saying I would say the same about my worst argument, but it wasn't my fault. But that is one of my worst arguments, and we still don't really talk to this day. So
But y'all love each other.
yeah, we love each other,
And that's cool
And
to love from a
and
distance.
they could allow, but they better than that because they can actually be in the same room.
yeah.
So
It has got better,
Yes,
but I will
yes.
say that was one of probably my worst arguments.
My worst argument was with somebody that somebody very close to me. They definitely was in the wrong. It's something they did. So it was just like, I didn't even really argue with them. They actually got nasty after they did something really bad to me, and I actually didn't speak to them once. But I realized the person that I was hurting by not speaking to them, which when they did try to apologize to me. So I'm gonna not. That's why I said the next topic will be apologies, or I guess taking responsibility for for what you did. I guess I can call it apology. And the reason why I say that is because maybe I need to grow as well. Because when it comes to apologies, I got a rule. You got one day to apologize.
It shouldn't even take you that long.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
an opinion. I can't wait to the topic though.
You
That
got
is an
one
opinion.
day.
How you want to tell a person? Okay,
This is me.
Let this warm up though. How can you tell somebody how long they take to realize they're wrong?
I'm not telling them, but I'm gonna tell them what they lost. Because you lost me.
Ooh,
Once you
like
take that long,
and I had felt like that a lot of times. Because it's like
I'm never
and
gonna
again,
fully
it's like
come
my
back.
feelings don't matter to you for you to even acknowledge what
This
you
is how
did
we
wrong
gonna
or
end
what
it,
you
'cause this
say
is the
wrong.
next topic.
This the next topic.
This is the next topic because I'm not, and I'm glad Key, I hope you in the next one because we seem like we're on the same page with apologies. It takes me a while to apologize.
There's sometimes never.
Sometimes you have to reflect on what you did, and sometimes I don't.
Okay,
But
so
I didn't never get apologies.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
And
saying.
it comes from how I never got apologies.
It comes from how you is being raised too. That's what I said. My dad will apologize to me. I will apologize to Arby. Like if I'm rushing her in the morning, I'm like, I'm sorry, Arby. Like I wasn't taking. I was like, I'll be like, oh, I'm rushing. Like I make sure I apologize to her because Kids are innocent, not innocent, but y'all know what I mean. Like, apologize to your kids so that way when they grow older, people look at apologies as you're being weak. You're not weak if you apologize. I don't care about this shit. Like, I really don't.
But if the argument was
even if I don't start the argument, I'm still apologizing.
Yeah, especially if
I'm still apologizing, even if I didn't start it.
Because
I don't feel like that. Apologize.
All right, so I'm glad we brought this up at the end because I want people to actually comment and say how they feel about apologies by telling me do the apology podcast so that we can have other people.
I've been trying to reach out to the audience. You guys, I need you guys to call the numbers so we can put you on a podcast.
Yeah,
so that we can have other people's opinions. Actually, too, I want to start doing mediation Mondays. Where two people don't get along, but they want to mend their relationship. This, for me, my podcast, like I said, it's about healing. So on that note, if you about to have an argument or you feel an argument coming on, ladies, like what you gonna do? What's gonna be your method?
I really feel like this podcast. What I learned from this podcast is everything don't have to be a argument, but I feel like people gotta realize sometimes that it takes other people longer. What I feel about me is people don't know my growth, or like Key didn't know me that long, so she might not understand. Oh my God, Dayonna was 10 times worse than this 5 years ago.
She'll
never see it, but I'm still trying to get rid of some other things as well. So I feel like you got to give people that time to grow too. That's what I learned about.
I feel the same way.
So what you feel about?
So how much time do you give a family member or your significant other to change? Like,
I feel like that's what you want to do.
Yeah, like
what you want to do. How long you want to give them? That's your tolerance.
That's true. And then if you feel like you want to walk away, why do the other person feel like they entitled for you to not walk away? Like they get.
Well, that's another topic.
That ain't an argument.
It kind of is. It kind of is in a sense.
You can branch argument in
so
many different ways. Yeah, like.
But I want to know, what are you guys going to do when you know it's something for your next argument, no matter what it. What's going to be your method?
I'm tired.
Well, I just was arguing with somebody, but no, for real, no, seriously, it was before this podcast. Okay. But I feel like I learned from that argument though, in a sense, because I feel like I apologized because I didn't, it's like I want people to understand where I be coming from. Mm-hmm. Like I might not word it the right way or something like that. Maybe I don't know how to, word it correctly, but it's like, yeah.
So what about? I'm asking you what method, because it's like I told y'all the method. I count to 20 before.
And then I feel like after the apology is given, ended. It's just it should be no longer. Yeah. Like even if it's something from 2 years ago, if I cheated on you 3 years ago, and seriously, for real, because so many people.
If you forgive me, then don't.
If you forgave me, don't bring up what you found or what you saw 3 years ago, because I'm not that person from 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
A man is what?
Never will forget that.
He never will what?
Cheating more.
That's another topic. Mm-hmm. Because I got a lot to say about that.
Please text it.
But like I said, as far as the apology thing, if somebody apologizes, I, in my opinion, it shouldn't be brought up again. I apologize for it, and I was genuine. And my apologies is always genuine. What?
We had a podcast about this. Forgive, but don't forget. Sometimes we forgive.
But if you feel like, if you can't forget, I feel like you should move on from your relationship.
You're not.
If you feel like
you're
never gonna forget,
that's another topic.
That's a whole nother topic. You're never gonna forget anything.
Yeah.
I feel like my method
I'm saying leave that person alone.
Your method for arguing. Like, what are you going to do now?
See the other person's side. I can say that. I can say that.
What you going to do different? But you're not really. You like me. You're not really argumentative. Like really.
My normal thing.
Have y'all ever thought of saying you're right? You're right.
But when you do that, I feel like when you say you right and you telling the other person they right, they want to keep going on and on. And I feel like that's a mental illness.
I'm not
like if
trying
I'm
to be right. I'm trying to get you to understand what the fuck I'm saying, bitch.
and I feel like that's a mental
sarcastic.
You right.
You can't tell somebody that they're being sarcastic though, because you don't know they tone. You be like,
well, I ain't true.
Somebody can be on some concept like, you know what, you're right, and then the person still is going at it.
That's
like, are you okay? Like, is something wrong in your brain that you still gotta go on? Like, you know how you be like your person be on some concept and you still
in the podcast.
Like, are you okay?
Trigger words for certain people. I think that's whatever. That's
you can't tell somebody.
That's a trigger.
You can't tell the other person.
You can't tell me that that's not a trigger for me either, though. So it go both ways.
That's a mental illness.
That is not. You said earlier,
that's a mental illness.
If you have a trigger, that's your trigger.
Why is that?
I don't have to respond to it every time, though.
You don't have to respond, but if that's your trigger, that's your trigger.
I pick and choose my pain and my peace. I just feel like arguing is a waste of energy. And after you argue, if it happens,
if you're not arguing to resolve nothing, you're wasting your time.
Some stuff be just petty though. Like for me, like I understand where you're coming from with the it take a lot of energy because the serious arguments be taking that's draining. But like the petty ones, are like, all right.
Right.
Like I'm hungry now. I'm done. Like you know what I mean? Like
your feet stink, and I say no, they don't, and you be like, yes, they do, and then we going back and forth about my stinky feet. I'm not wasting my energy.
Y'all know how I feel about arguments though.
Like just regular.
Argue about something that really makes sense. Or if I cheated on you, argue about that. Don't argue about what's some dumb stuff. What we going to eat, and then that turned into a whole debate about what we going to eat. We should have been left out to eat. Like that
was when I was pregnant a lot.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
That was a lot of argument, though, for real.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Argue about me cheating on you versus we should have been left out to eat an hour ago. Like, come on, y'all. Like
5 seconds ago.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't even.
Here go the
that's a topic. Hangry ass.
But not to talk about the apologize, but I just feel like just apologize, communicate, and talk in a normal tone.
I feel like the other person should apologize too.
Okay, so we're gonna call.
No, well,
so
they don't always have to apologize, depending on what it was. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't always expect an apology because
me neither. I see.
And if this is a person you've been dating for a while, you don't even expect certain shit. You just be like, that's how they are. I don't even expect it, or I don't even want it.
But are you gonna keep using that as an excuse?
What?
That's how they are. You expect them to change. You know what I mean?
That's it, actually. What? No, for real.
Oh, you can
that makes sense.
So you gotta change the way you respond.
Yeah.
That's
why I
true,
say it takes two to argue.
It do take two.
It does.
You just made a good point, though.
I can just hang up. I don't got.
But I think we had to be
and
I can't stand that. That's another topic.
What?
Oh, that's just how they are. I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah, what do you mean? This is how I am. I've been like this all my life. You don't want to change? Like, I want to change. Like, I look at me 6 years ago. I'm not that same person. I changed. Like,
me neither.
I changed in so many different ways.
And I feel
like I don't want to remain the same person. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, that's just how I am. I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to be better.
Like sometimes picking your pain and your peace makes a difference because I feel like a debate, argument, however, depending on the person's tone, what kind of day they had.
Mm-hmm. But tell me you had a long day, so that way you know we on the same page.
I don't want to argue with somebody and then I'm going back and forth, and then at the end of the day, at the end of it, I'm wishing I never said a word. If you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then why do you feel like you in a situation where you feel like, man, maybe I shouldn't say this today because I don't know how they are because that's how they are.
Yeah, but you see how many now, how people like, it's a lot of rage, a lot of stabbings, and people just snapping out, a lot of road rage, where if I would have just not said nothing, you know, I'm not perfect, I'm not saying that sometimes I might be like, what? You know, I think the whole thing is this is the amount of disrespect. Like, if I feel disrespected, then I feel the need to defend myself. You know, if I'm being disrespected, I feel the need that I gotta, you know, let that person know, like, you're not going to disrespect me. But at the same hand of time, it's like that argument. It's never nothing good about it. What's good about an argument if you're being loud and you're being nasty? What's good about it? It's a bunch of wasted energy, a bunch of mean things being said. And
why do it have to go to mean things?
Yeah, because some, like, for example,
If it's a mean argument,
me and my
it's gonna
spouse
be
don't
mean
say
things.
mean things. I don't say
That's a
mean
bad
things. to
mindset they
my
have, though.
boyfriend.
Then you
I
just
don't
laugh on my own.
Sorry, that's your pig.
That's when they come. Want to ring on Dayonna.
Yo, I'm hollering.
I don't know. I just want us to always get something from these podcasts, like something that we're gonna.
Well, did the host get something different? What
Right.
did you do different?
I don't argue.
No,
No.
I'm talking about even a debate.
She
It turned
argued.
into an argument.
Girl, she argued.
Tell
She's
me my
like,
last argument. It probably was with your ass.
you argue. I don't care if it was me.
It was
or
with you.
your significant other or anybody else.
I don't argue with them. I hang up.
What about in person?
Oh, I'm definitely not arguing in person. They got guns.
You know what? I like to talk in person, though.
I feel
like talking in person
talking
get a
in
lot.
person because if you argue on the phone, that's the thing. I can't hang up. But when I do hang up, I don't just hang up or just click. I say good night, have a nice night, and I hang up.
That'd be best.
And I feel like before
Yeah, I am. I will.
arguing.
Have a nice night.
Ain't no have a nice night.
Have a nice night.
and before you let a person go, like say
Can you witness me do that?
say if you say if you
Have a
and your
nice night.
significant other right have an argument and then you decide to leave and go to the store to clear your mind and they text you, why couldn't you just say that to me in person? Because now the text is going to turn it into more stuff. Just talk to me in person and we could just resolve it like that and then boom, let's go to sleep.
You said, what have I learned? You still can't tell me my last argument because I don't really get into that.
Well, I don't be around you like this, so I can't tell
No,
you.
I'm
the
saying
last
just
argument.
like
I know
in
you like to
general.
argue. You're my mom. I heard you.
arguing actually.
Okay, she called it debate, y'all, but her tone be elevated and she be mad as shit.
Because it's my
She's
kid.
caramel and she turns red. But she don't like to argue.
It's
She
probably
likes to
with
argue.
you. It's probably with you.
No, not even that you like to argue. You like to be right. What you told us in the beginning of the podcast, Sagittarius loves to be absolutely right.
No,
Y'all don't think y'all wrong about
we
shit.
know we right.
So therefore, if you don't think you're wrong,
I'm not gonna speak on it if I'm wrong. If I don't have the information that I need,
in my opinion, and she's my mom of 30 long years. She liked to argue. She liked to argue, so you should have went to law
when the
school.
last time I started the argument with you?
You
Because
don't
arguing for me
had to
is,
start with me.
oh my god. You just sit up and yeah.
Y'all know what I don't mind arguing about? Let's argue about little stupid stuff like what you gonna eat. Yeah, like if you want to argue, let's argue about that. I don't want to argue about nothing else. Food, whatever.
She just sat up here and said, I bet you my other child would beg to differ.
Let's call
Let's call him on the phone.
one more.
Ask him, do I start arguments?
I wouldn't do one.
Probably not. Sorry.
It's gonna be an argument segment.
I think what sometimes what ticks me off is just it being long going. We shouldn't argue for an hour.
That's too much.
The longer the argument, the longer the sex. It's like,
Ew,
no, y'all
too
playing.
long.
Look at her face.
The hell?
I'm a
Look, he sleep.
he sleep with the baby. I'm editing that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what? Why would you think that? People really have arguments that have makeup sex. I ain't saying me.
Yeah.
I'm saying people really like to argue to later have sex. People say that. Like, they really like to argue and then make up.
Yeah, that's toxic.
I think
Thank
that
you, son.
people like to do that. People like to.
I don't have a comment on this.
Is that because she do it? See? There's really girls and guys out here that be like, let me start with my bitch real quick or my nigga real quick so yeah, she get home tonight.
There's people out here that like to argue when you go out with your friends too.
Don't argue with me because you're just gonna be arguing by yourself. I'm going outside.
Drea low key throwing shots.
Yeah,
I didn't.
the whole podcast, this group is throwing shots, yo.
I'm speaking on real shit. That's all.
But this is therapy. This is therapy.
No, podcast is just about smoke. It's about, I don't know what it's about because I don't have a podcast.
I didn't even peep. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I said what I
He wouldn't
said.
know. Nobody would know.
I said what I said. I'm going outside. You're gonna be arguing by yourself.
But why do y'all think people do this though? Is it because like, are they jealous? Do they feel like they have to go out because you going out?
Jealous about what?
Like, say if your girlfriend texts you, or you see, like, you know, she going out, she got her makeup done and stuff, and you start.
What I'm starting?
Like, people do it.
You talking about boys?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Like, say if Key see her boyfriend walking downstairs and he dressed up and she's like, where the fuck your ugly ass going? You started with me.
I thought you were like boys.
I feel like
or if she texting, say she texting him,
I can't.
and she be like, "Oh, you can't come in tonight." Why are you starting? Why are you starting? Why can't he go out and have fun?
Now everybody looking at me while I'm texting. I gotta turn my brightness down.
Now I do remember I was dating somebody a little while ago, and she was bartending. She was bartending at Cardi B event, right? But I remember me texting her. I said, "What the fuck you got on?" I said, "Crop this fucking picture."
Yo, I'm really crying.
And they did it.
Oh, so you listen to
Now, this was years ago. Like I said, I changed. I'm not like that as a person no more. I'm not like that.
I hate
but
that.
then
I
I'm
can't date nobody like that.
No, but I don't know.
I've dated somebody like that, but now in my mature years, I'm not dating nobody like that because I'm not like that.
Yeah, because I like to go.
Me too. I want my time alone.
I feel like it don't be an argument. I do it sometimes, but I think it just be like, not jealousy, because I ain't jealous of nobody. It just be a
I don't think
like,
you're jealous of. You can't be jealous of a person, but sometimes like you want your person all to yourself.
Yeah, I think like you want to spend
It's
time.
not
I
wrong
don't
with
say
that.
it in an argumentative
No.
way. I
It's not
say it
wrong
like,
with
Yeah,
my-
no.
You know, my folks looking good, and you outside. And
But if you know your
looking-
folks ain't worried about nobody and they checking for nobody,
they'll start. They'll
Well, why start an argument
They'll all
because
your
they out
friends
having a
is
good
fat and
time?
ugly.
What
They'll
about-
beat your
now,
friends
what
the fuck up. They'll start an argument. They'll talk about your friends as hoes. You out with them hoes.
But what about
Yeah,
that?
love
What about
saying
when
that.
you
Yes,
out
I
having
am.
a good time and somebody start an argument with you? Y'all out on a date, the whole
I'm
date.
putting you see how your phone is? I'm turning my phone because I don't want to mess up.
Wait,
dates.
are
That's
they
not
out
fair.
with each other? Or
Out
are they
with each other.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, out with each
And
other.
on the rock, y'all done had dinner, y'all laughed, y'all done had drinks.
I'm in the
Y'all
car.
get in the car.
I'm in the car with the music on, saying with a song that says, "Bitch, you fucking." Oh, you fucking
Yeah, my partner is funny.
You're not.
They get to turn the music up, turn the music go hard. Neon flew out the window. This is
At
crazy.
least y'all didn't argue in the place.
Now my sunglasses flew out the window. You settled. I'm like, okay, whole body go out the window. Half the body inside the car with the music blasting. Like, this is crazy. Speed off, music on 100. Never knew the speakers went to 100 because we was arguing. Now the speaker on there. And now my hat that I wore to the date flew out the window and I paid $100.
She just told the whole story.
That's crazy. You deal with that? So
That was shit. That wasn't no made up shit.
That wasn't no-
had to happen.
That was a real story.
Not the hat flying out the window, but the person speeding off and turning the music up. Yeah.
Wait, cause y'all argue. Alright, so you saying they argue inside
Yeah.
of the restaurant?
I know
Yeah,
son did it.
I never argue with my significant other.
Not
other
inside.
I'm about to
Not
say,
inside.
Y'all had a whole good night.
And you
Oh.
started arguing.
Yo, that's what hurts me.
Nah.
We had a good night, and then
Then
we
on the
some.
ride home.
Now keep trying to act like she delusional.
No, I thought y'all meant arguing inside the place.
Oh, no.
I never.
I mean, a little debate inside the place.
No, I never. No.
Y'all had a good night. Everything went right.
Everything went right.
Everything went right. Good night.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner, meal, whatever. Everything was perfect. Y'all laughed. Now y'all get in the car and you start an argument.
But why did the argument start?
Yeah, why did it start?
Any reason she just
Well,
it's a good night.
I said started. It was a good night. You couldn't hold it.
It turned
on to
bad
the
because
next
your
day.
ass said something. You had to say something.
But so you couldn't say, all right, we had a good night. I'm gonna let it slide. You want
Yeah, you could say that, but that's another thing. I don't
Say,
like
have
the
you done
tone.
that?
So if you be loud, no,
If you be loud, no.
no, I don't like that. The loud stuff. Now I'm in the wrong because you got loud.
I like them arguments where you just like y'all just end up laughing like this is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then let me tell you, I had this other girl I was talking to. We went to New York. Me and this girl. Why you laughing?
Y'all play so much, yo, because I know what y'all about to say.
Me and this girl went to New York.
I remember this story. This is
So me and this
crazy,
girl
yo.
went to New York or whatever. So I forgot why the argument started, but she was like, I was like, well, no, she's tried to walk away. She was like, and I'm telling my mom, you left me out here. So I'm like, why would you tell your mom that I left you in New York? Like,
did everybody leave somebody in New York? Because I happened to be before.
Oh, no, I never left in New York.
No, somebody we argued, and we were about to leave each other, and no, we were always about to leave each other in New York. Yo.
yeah, so no, me and this girl, we was arguing. She was like, well, I'm telling my mom you left me in New York. So now I'm mad because I really didn't leave. You're trying to leave me. So now we on the street fighting, and this white guy like, guys, the cops. I said, fuck them cops. And I ripped the bag. Like, we
Oh
went
my
shopping.
God.
I ripped her bag so she was walking down the street. But then I laughed. I was like, you want to get something to eat?
Oh my
The rest of the day was a ball.
That sounds like me. Oh my god. That's bad.
I like them arguments though. Like, you know, we could just, it didn't last all day. It lasted for like,
hello. Sorry guys, it was an interruption.
so I like them arguments. Like a quick little, all right, 30 minutes, it was over. Or probably not even 30 minutes. Probably like 20 minutes. We was out eating, having a ball. But it was I'm telling my mom you left me in New York. Like, why don't you lie?
All the sensitive, dramatic people let her argue. Love it.
But sometimes, some arguments you sit back and laugh. Some of them you sit back and laugh.
Some be petty. Like I can count on my one hand how many real arguments I got in and was bad. Like I don't really want to go there for but the petty stuff, yeah, I can attest. Like I do actually like that.
All right, so we all want to listen to this podcast and reflect back to like
This was a good
everybody's
podcast though.
opinion. It was. So next topic, either we said what we say next topic, apology,
Being apology.
accountability.
Accountability
slash apology.
apologize.
Oh yeah, that'll work. All right, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Don't make me.